record. Until now, whatever we have seen, we are executing whatever we have developed in our own machines. Like we just go to Scratchbook, run it, or else we go to execution list and run it, and they run within our machine. But what is this distributed execution means? For suppose you have some 5 to 6 execution lists, which consists of multiple test cases in them. So by using all those execution lists, you can distribute them across different machines. For suppose your entire team is of some 4 members. Okay. So this 100 test cases, whatever you have created, you will distribute among these 4 machines and you will trigger the runs. Okay. And here, whenever you trigger something through distribution, then you will not see any progress bar or anything like that. So mostly it would be like no manual intervention is possible there. You cannot pause the execution or something, because in execution list, if you pause it, you can do some changes manually and again resume it. But in distributed execution, you can't do all those things. And this is how we configure the CI/CD pipelines and trigger the runs and all. So yeah, this is how the architecture is. So what we do here is, one second, I don't think this is the best one. Give me one moment. Yeah. So see, for suppose we have some 3 execution lists. 1, 2, 3, everything. So what happens? This particular workstation 1 has created one test event and is sending all these 3 execution lists to the distributed execution server. Okay, so from there what happens is there are 3 agent machines connected to this server. So it has distributed all 3 execution lists across these 3 agent machines. And once execution is completed, all the results are again stored in the common repository so that we can check over them. So how does this work? How can you do that is, usually in order to install this distributed execution and all, there are 2 things that are needed. One is the server side configuration and all, and another one is the agent side configuration. Server side, what is that server side you need to do? You need to install this Tosca server. Okay. So here they mention, okay, this is the distributed execution server. When you are configuring the server, there are mainly 3 things. Okay. One is the monitoring URL. Another one is the managing URL, and one second, just give me 2 minutes please. Yeah, so I said you, like we need to configure 3 things importantly. One is the monitoring service, you can say. The second one is the managing service, and the third one is the communication service. So what are these 3 services? Why do we need them? What is that we are doing by using these services means? By using communication service, we can the particular, so this will help, or this will promote the interaction between server and the agent machine that you are using. And coming to this managing service, this will help you to pass the commands to the particular distributed execution server. Okay. And monitoring service is helpful in order to see or monitor what is going on. And when we talk about monitors, there are two things. One is the event level monitoring. That means, for suppose I created one event and I am running some executions through that event. So what is happening in this event? Are all my execution lists working fine? Or is everything going fine? Is what I can monitor. Or else, what is this machine doing? How many events does it actually run? So what is the status of this machine? I can check it out. So there are two important things. One is event level and another one is agent level monitoring. Okay. So whenever we are configuring the server, whenever we install the server and all, these are the three important things that we configure. So once server setup is done, then again, now you need to do the agent setup. So agent is nothing but any ordinary computer which has Tosca installed and which has Tosca license and all. So now I already have the Tosca installed on my computer. So how do I configure an agent? Let me show you. All you need to do is open your C drive, then go to program files cross 86, Tricentis, Tosca test suite, and here there is a folder called distributed execution. This one, and in this folder you will have two files. One is the distribution execution file, and another one is the configurations file. So now let's see them. Let's just get down. See, this is the Tosca distribution agent .exe file. Okay, that is the reason you have the application here. And this is the XML configuration file. Okay, which will help you to configure it. First, let's run this agent and see how can we configure it. So I'm just double clicking on this application file. So then if you observe, see, I got a monitor icon over here. And see, what does it say when I mouse over? Tosca distribution agent is starting. Laptop 3D 7G. This is my laptop name, okay? And this is what it says. Now let's close this folder. Let's come back here. So if you right click on this particular agent, a monitor icon, see what does it have? One is configure agent, another one is stop and exit the agent. So you just click on the configure agent. So then you will see one window coming up which will help you in configuring this particular agent machine. Let us wait, it will come up. It will take some time. Yeah. I need to wait for it to load totally. Yeah. So now if you see, first thing whatever it asks is connected to server. And do if you remember, what is the server that will help you to connect agent and the distributed server? Communication service. Right? We discussed this point now already. So the same communication service URL is what we will pass over here. I don't have the server details. I can't show you that. But this is what you pass. Okay. So once you get this communication service, like if your other team is configuring that, they will be providing you the communication service. So you can just mention that particular service URL over here. And then once you do that, you can go to the first tab and you can configure your machine. So usually these things will be enabled once you mention the correct server address. So here you will be choosing like what is the project or what is the name of your machine and all. So these things you can configure over here. So once everything is done, you will just click on the save button and close it. Okay, and then what happens is in real time, usually this monitor icon, whatever you are seeing here, it will turn out to be a green color, green color filled monitor icon. As of now, it is just white only, right? Because white and gray it is because I did not configure it. But inside you will see a green color, which means the agent is up and running and it is ready to accept any execution. So then how do we trigger the distributed execution runs and all? What we actually do. So this is like one time process that you configure. Okay, like only once in the beginning, like how you installed the Tosca on your machine, the same way you will configure your agent. Every day what we usually do is we will go to this execution section. Let me just check out this. So within the execution section, you have two other things available. One is the configurations. If they are not available, you can go ahead and create them, create configurations. And another one is the test events. So you just can create under the execution. So in these configurations, usually if you right click on them, you can create a new configuration. For suppose I want my team is some team 3. So I want my execution to be run among this all the team 3 machines. So I created one configuration. And here in the properties of the configuration, I usually make sure that only my team 3 clients are configured. How can I do that? Last time we saw whenever we opened this agent, we saw that there are some project node detail, host details and all, right? So we can add those properties here and we can configure this particular configuration to only 3 machines. So whenever you right click on this and say refresh agents, it will not work for me now. Then it will list you how many agents are present as per this particular your configurations. Okay, so now we are asking server, how many agents are there? What does it mean? We are sending some commands. Give me how many servers are there. For sending the commands and all, what is the URL? What is the service that we are using? Manager service. That is the reason. See, there is no endpoint listening at the manager service that could accept the message. Okay, we don't have proper service here. That is the reason it is throwing us an error. So once you create this configuration is also like only one time process. You do it whenever you need it. The main important thing that you need in order to trigger the runs is test events. You can right click and this is the icon to create a test event. We can create some test event. Okay, and in this test event, you can drag and drop your configurations. Okay, so let me, it's already done. And in these configurations, for suppose you want to execute some user registration, you can drag this and drop this under this. So what happens? This particular execution list will execute in these configurations via this test event. And for suppose you want to monitor what it see, you can right click and you can execute it, or else you can open the event view and the agent view. This will help you to monitor the things. See, when I click on it, see, please correct the address for monitoring the services. Okay, so here you need to pass the monitor service URL, which I did not do. Okay, so if you have proper server and all, you can pass all these three URLs and you can monitor what is going on. So this is how you work with the distributed execution. And how do you know once it is running and all means? Usually this green color filled monitor icon, whenever there is a run or whenever execution is going on, you cannot see any progress bar, and also you cannot make any changes, like your system is not in your control, and usually it will turn out to be a red color, which means it is already executing something. Once execution is completed, again it will become green color, and a test execution list will be created automatically for you, another new one, and you can pull a report directly from it. Once run is done, automatically a new execution list will be created for you, from which you can pull a report. The same story repeats again. Is it clear? Any questions? Any doubts?
Remain real time. These things we need to do in manually ourselves. Someone will do.
Usually, for our team, in our project and all, we got these three services URLs and all we did is we just configured them and we
Okay.
started executing it. This is like, one configuring them and executing it. It will not take you more than 10 to 15 minutes to start, because you'll just copy paste the URLs. That's it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is also called Tosca to CT creation, continuous testing. We will call that. That will also we will do.
Okay. Yeah. CI/CD also the same procedure. Once you configure this Dex and all, then you can go
Okay.
for that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is all about distributed execution, and I have one URL for the this one. What you say, unattended mode of execution. How can we achieve unattended mode and all? I'll give you those URLs. You can just go through them whenever you have some free time. Yeah. These three, this third one is something which is important and which may come handy for you once you start working. Like this is for totally unattended mode. How do you do that? Okay. Within Dex only, again you have two things, RDP server and all. So those things you will understand from here. Like how do you set up and all is what I gave you the second URL. And see here also they mention the same. Okay. And then in the third one, how do you achieve this unattended mode? Like you need to go to the system remote properties and you need to allow the remote connections, so that your this is like moreover, configuring the CI things, CI CD pipelines they say, right? Similar to this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. With this we complete our course.